Have we found any evidence from Moses from the secular history since we've been digging for a long time?
Mansur, he's a kid. Why are you trying to bomb on kids?
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 24.
Oh, he's a kid. That's a kid.
How old is he?
He's a young boy.
24-year-old kid. Okay, I can speak to a 24-year-old kid, no problem. So,
According to Muhammad.
If you want to talk to
Muhammad.
I would love
According to Muhammad.
no respect for you.
According to Muhammad. According to Muhammad.
No respect for you
According
from
to
this
Muhammad.
guy. Or this guy. From that time, and it has no previous historical precedence.
I said this was research from before. I don't have the sources. I don't
Something
have
that you
anything
vaguely
like that.
remember.
This is something that I vaguely remember. Yes.
Fine. So this is vaguely remember
It's
without.
something I've seen on multiple
Sure.
sites.
So if
multiple
I can ask you, what sort of sources did you use in your research? Because a research needs to be. Do you agree? Thank you. Do you agree? Research needs to be robust. Robust. Yep. Proper methodological approach utilized, and it needs to be research that is valid. If a research is some hecklers tells you something, you take their word, like the previous individual, who's not a heckler but the individual mistaken, and tells you this is what it is, and you quote him as your source, that would not be a research. Do you agree?
Well,
You want us to Google it right now?
What he also did in the end, he did produce a source.
What source
He
was
did
that?
produce a video.
What source was it?
Which then told you the source.
No, he didn't. The video didn't tell me a
and you
source.
didn't listen to it.
You're being disingenuous now. I asked him specifically, from that video, just give me the source. Because it's like you telling me it says there, but I'm saying, where? Just tell me the reference. So he should have done, as other brother was here, I don't even know him, just quote me the verse, quote me the chapter. Simple. That's a reference. Not, oh, a random video on YouTube talks about it. This is not a source. Do you agree?
I asked you a question.
Right.
Now I'm going to answer.
I didn't come for a debate.
Now I'm going to
I asked you a
answer.
question.
Now I'm going to answer.
And now you've got the cameras.
Yeah,
you're turning
yeah,
it
yeah,
into
he's
a
happy
debate.
Do you know why?
I asked
Do
you a
you know why I
question.
got the cameras? Because
I asked you a question.
Christians cameras are recording. I want to make it balanced.
Oh, okay, good.
That's all.
Good. So
If
answer
there-
this question now.
if there's no cameras,
question now.
I don't care.
Why would
no
they
cameras, no
worship
problem. So I'm simply asking you to see, because you've made a claim. Remember, I didn't make that
No,
claim.
I asked you a question.
Sure.
I asked you a question. I said I've researched. I've seen the
I want to
research.
know the research that you've done so that I can learn where the information you're getting this from is something is valid or not. Because you can just say, like imagine, I say, I've made research, and in this research, I found X, Y, and Z. You have all the right to ask me, but what is this research based on? Is it based on a proper methodological approach, robust sources and so on? If I was just quoting a random guy on the street,
Yes.
and he said so, that doesn't make it true.
Yes, they were circling the Kaaba. What does he want?
So-
He still has to answer the
so
question.
I'm asking
Were they
you
doing
again.
it, yes or no?
But
Give me the historical
let's make it
references.
simple.
You want Islamic
How long
resources?
has the Kaaba been there?
The Kaaba has been there from day one when Adam built it, and it's been rebuilt
built
many
it?
times.
And
You hear that?
One second.
The man said Adam built the Kaaba.
Before.
Where's your
Islam-
resources?
Before Islam was a thing,
Right.
in the
Where's your proof?
Arabian Peninsula, they were pagans.
No.
Come on.
They were pagans.
They were circling the Kaaba.
In the Arabian
before-
So this is where
they were
Islam.
pagans.
This is where
Yeah,
you're
right?
No, let me.
And they were worshiping a false god called Hebel.
Are you a Christian? Is he a Christian?
So
And he's getting cooked.
the Arabs
your
of
proof?
pre-Islamic Arabia,
Where's your proof?
they knew about Abraham,
Where's your proof?
because Abraham came, and Hagar settled
Where's his resource?
in Arabia.
Come on.
The water
Where
of
is your
Zamzam.
proof? Right.
The well
Where's
of
your
Zamzam
source?
is from that time, from Ishmael.
source?
Right? Wait.
I got Google right here.
This is
Where's your
the
source?
Islamic tradition.
It's
now-
Islamic tradition. Hear what he said. But he has no source.
If you are now talking about sources from secular tradition, I can then say, are you going to be consistent in using
He's gonna run, he's gonna run,
secular
he's gonna run.
tradition as your sources? Do you agree?
No. It's called freedom of speech.
I don't speak to hecklers, I can speak to you. So, may I ask you once again? Do you accept secular historical traditions as your sources? Do you agree?
On the source.
Do you agree with using, relying on
Where's your source?
secular historical sources.
Where's your source?
Secular in what way? From a secular country or
Non-religious.
He won't give his sources. Where is your
non-religious
source?
sources?
That's what secular
Adam
means.
built the Kaaba.
Non-religious sources, historical sources. Do you agree that these are valid historical sources to use?
Sure.
I know what you mean, I know what you mean.
And the answer is, do you agree to use them?
But also secular sources can come with the truth.
Sorry?
All secular sources does not mean all secular sources are false.
Wait.
They can also come
So
with the truth.
let's now talk about something very fundamental.
No,
Because I disagree with what you just
Let
said.
him run.
I disagree with what you said.
No, because-
Let me tell you why I disagree. Shall I?
No, please, because you
The moment you become selective at your are you listening? Excuse me.
Let me go with you.
Excuse me. If you're gonna have a conversation with him, you're welcome to go and have a conversation over there. If you're gonna have a conversation with me directly, don't listen to anyone else.
I tried
Thank
to
you.
respond.
So-
and out of respect, I'm asking
So
you,
if he won't give
I am responding. I am responding because you said something which is very inconsistent. Your inconsistency is this:
Where's his source?
when you
Right here.
selectively
Come on.
choose historical sources, you pick and choose like a cherry
Nah,
picking.
man, the man said he got
That is
sources.
not. Wait.
No, it wasn't my
When-
point. It wasn't my
Adam
point.
Okay,
built the
so
Kaaba.
let me ask you then.
Question.
Historical sources.
You don't
have to stay here.
Historical sources are what? To give you an example,
Take your
brother,
mask off and come on camera.
if I asked you, if we want to know about history,
You wanted to debate.
5,000
Take your
years
mask
ago,
off and debate.
say in
Take your mask
Mesopotamia,
off. Don't be a coward.
what is our historical sources available for us to know?
No.
And how can we use these sources? In which methodology to know in a probabilistic way, because history is probabilistic,
Come on camera.
that these things occur? Now tell me
I
that.
want to expose you.
No, I understand what you're saying,
Take your mask off.
but I was trying to stick to the original point.
I
of
was
the
circling the
secular
Kaaba
sources.
before Islam.
So
What's
does it
wrong with
mean-
that?
Does it mean all religious sources are the truth
Google.
and no secular sources are the
Google.
truth?
No. So let me clarify.
Islamic sources.
When it comes to historical sources, using
Islamic
the
sources.
historical critical method, for example, secular,
Come on.
you can use the religious sources like religious books like the Veda, religious books like the Christian Bible or the Quran. These are religious historical texts.
They were worshiping.
But when we're talking about to know about history, we need to have at our disposal some kind of source methodology in which we can, brother, excuse me, please. We need to know how we can learn about history, right? Without being biased. So there is a tradition in the Western historians, they use the historical critical method, in which they will say these methods gives us that this is what most probably that happened. They cannot say definitely because history does not give us definitive knowledge.
Prove what he's
So,
saying, by the way.
so,
He won't.
so-
Just
so-
listen
he
to
won't
it
prove it.
and
So-
tell
I keep
the
a proof.
truth.
so if
Ask
you
him
now,
what
if
he's
you
saying
now
is true.
totally
Because he's
disregard
not a historian.
disregard
So whatever he's telling you,
secular
you have to
history, then you being picking and choosing, cherry picking the historical method to arrive at the historical whatever thing happened, right?
No, because this has been blown out of proportion.
No, I'm going to the very fundamentals. These are the principles of knowledge.
I just asked you a question.
And the answer relies on how we approach history. So that's why I asked you.
Adam was worshiping.
If
built the Kaaba.
we want to know about something that happened 5,000 years ago, would you agree? If the Veda tells us the history of China, it's acceptable to you? The Veda of the Hindu books.
If the sorry?
If the Veda, Veda, V-E-D-A, Veda.
Arab news on here.
If the Veda, which is the religious book of the Hindus,
circling
right?
the Kaaba
Rig Veda,
for Islam.
if it tells us about what happened in China
Islamic sources.
5,000 years ago, would you consider this religious text to give us
Right.
this historical event that took place is correct?
Ask him which Quran.
Where's Quran? Here we go. Here we go.
Literally, which Quran?
Understand that he's just blown smoke.
Yeah, he is. He literally.
What do you think?
He's doing it for the views. He's doing it for the views. You're old, man. You're a dinosaur.
Use your brains.
They're getting cooked by
Use
the
your
young ones.
God-given intellect.
Point.
Use your God-given intellect to have a conversation with me, rather than the Hecklers
some
trying to do
milk.
this.
Mansur, he's a kid. Why are you
Right?
trying to bum him?
How old are you, by the way?
Oh,
He's a kid. He's a kid. That's a kid.
How old is he?
He's a young boy.
24-year-old kid. Okay, I can speak to a 24-year-old kid, no problem.
Oh, you can?
Do you have a problem?
Damn.
I know what you
I can
mean.
speak to a 24-year-old.
If they're sexy,
So, Veda describing the history in China 5,000 years ago, would you accept that narration?
Arab news.
I know what you mean.
Arab
However,
news.
you're more
I
inclined
was
to believe
circling
your
the
own
Kaaba
religious
before
book.
Islam.
So now you're being biased to a religious
Kaaba.
text
Come on.
to know the history.
Arab sources.
Yes, exactly how you
Read it.
wrote with the Kaaba.
Ikra.
Wait. If you're going to
What was your
look,
Okay, 1 second.
Mansur,
What was your
your
what was your
response is
evidence
this.
for the Kaaba?
That was
Your
circling the
response is
Kaaba.
Being circled by
Before
a
Islam.
Your response is, it is okay to be.
Notice, he's not answering your question. Notice that.
Look,
Ask him again. Ask
your response is,
Read him
it's
the source.
okay
Read him
to have
Arab
a
news,
bias
Arab news.
to a religious text
Arab
if you
news.
believe in a religious text. Is that what you're telling me?
Sorry?
Okay.
what he says.
Are you having difficulty listening
Not
because of all this
answering your
distraction?
question.
Little bit? Don't tell them to stop heckling in your ears.
The speaker's corner.
But you have the right
Don't
to tell
worry,
them off.
Mansur. Raise your voice.
You have the right.
You're a man,
You have the right to tell them.
Can you repeat again, please?
Okay. So,
Mansur, you're a dinosaur.
when we talk about, for example, history of the Kaaba, the Hajj and so on, what I gave you, I said, from the Islamic tradition. Did I tell you that? Islamic tradition. This is what we consider to be what happened, because this is our tradition. If somebody says no, we disregard this tradition, we do not accept this tradition, then the questions come about methodology. Number one, why do you disregard our Islamic tradition? And what else do you have for these historical events? You have to justify both of them.
I want to ask, where is the evidence for the Islamic traditions, the Islamic history? Where's the evidence from?
The Islamic text,
This guy's some milk.
Islamic sources.
So it's biased, right?
That's what I'm asking you. Do you agree? Do you agree? A religious history by the religious people,
Notice he
it is acceptable to the religious people themselves, right? Do you agree?
You're actually answering it.
A religious tradition is acceptable to the religious community.
You don't
Because
have
for
to stand
them-
there and hear him lecture you. That's all I'm saying.
Because for them, this tradition or history is accurate and correct because it comes from God.
Exactly what I said earlier. With the what was the religious text for the Indians?
The Veda.
The Veda. Exactly. This is what I said earlier. If it was in the Bible, I would believe it. Because it's in a different
Okay,
religious text,
so
I'm
now-
not inclined to believe it.
Good.
Like, I have a different belief from the Bible to the Quran. You believe in the Quran that Jesus wasn't crucified, but I believe he was
You have
crucified.
blasphemed the name
So let's
of
come
my
back to the
God.
agreement then.
So
What we
this is
agree.
our agreement, yeah.
So what we agree is that our respective religious traditions we give preferences to.
Exactly. You
Right?
believe your traditions, I believe mine.
So now, when there is a disagreement between historicity of an event, between our religious traditions, the question is, how do we resolve this matter? Tell me some criteria that we can use when there is a discrepancy between, say, Jewish, Christian religious tradition about a historical event and Islamic tradition between a historical event of the same event.
What I would use now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would use then a secular bit of evidence, something from outside, something that isn't Islamic, something that isn't Christian. I would use something like that. But earlier, you then said secular evidence, you can't use it.
No, I didn't say anything like that.
Yes, you did.
No, please listen carefully.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
I
You
did
said
not
that you
say
couldn't
anything
use
about
secular evidence.
secular evidence you cannot use or you can use. I didn't say anything like that.
Yes,
I was
you did say that.
establishing.
You
You
Yeah, that's
liar.
for Gus.
You deceiver.
Look at the liars.
Deceiver.
It's all on tape.
So
you can watch
so
it
for
later.
Example, notice
Yeah,
he
you
had
can
an
watch it
entire
later.
tirade
So,
about secular evidence.
about secular
and how
evidence,
it was
here's my take
reliable,
now.
And how
Are you
instead
listening?
you should show priority
Are you listening?
to religious history.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you
So
rely
secular-
on secular anthropology,
secular
or
historical
sociology,
details,
or even outside
okay,
other sources
there is-
to tell you that the Kaaba existed,
I
you would
cannot
actually be able to
talk
find this.
because I can't
The idea that the Kaaba is built by
focus on
Abraham
speaking to you.
is strictly
Okay?
a claim of Islam.
So this is
not
the
a historical
inferiority
claim,
of
it is
Christian
simply
belief
a
system
claim
these
of
people
the
held,
actual
not you,
Islamic
these people,
corpus.
because
Now,
they feel
when
that
you have the
Christianity will be
Vedas,
dismantled,
the Vedas
and
can
that's
make
why
claims.
they interject
Now, if
in
the
every
Vedas
single
make
conversation.
claims about
Do you want me to
India,
show you?
Then unless we can
Tens
verify
and tens of
these,
conversations
go
where they
ahead.
come and heckle?
Go ahead, show me.
Show us.
And
Do you know what?
I will
Show
show
us.
him hundreds
It's
where
all there.
you've
Show
heckled.
us.
Go ahead. Bring it out. Bring out some
I've
evidence.
seen it.
of what
I've
Grace
seen it.
said.
Right.
I watch
That'd be great.
YouTube.
Right.
So I see heckling from both sides. Everyone
Where's your
heckles.
sources,
Have you seen
Mansur?
me going and
Yes,
heckling a
I have.
conversation?
Let me show you. Let me show you.
Yeah?
Let me show you. A couple of years ago, a guy called David Lynn came here.
Have you seen me heckling a
Mini Mansur
conversation
got brave.
yourself?
So Mini Mansur wanted to go and heckle.
And what was the
let me
heckling
show you
conversation that I
heckling.
heckled?
I can't.
You can't even remember.
exactly.
I'll show
Yeah,
you
you
right
can't
now.
I can't remember exactly. Of course. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast.
Okay, that's your problem, not mine.
As you can see,
No, that's
as you
your
can
problem.
see, this is Mini Mansur with his mouth open. yelling at a preacher for no apparent reason. Now, the preacher left the park. He went outside. Guess who followed him? Minnie Mouse Mansur. As you can see, he's outside. And Minnie Mouse Mansur decides that he is going to come and
Are we going to have a conversation, or are you going to listen to this lies
Minnie
and
Mouse
distortions?
Mansur left this corner. Minnie Mouse Mansur.
So when he finished,
when you're talking, I
outside,
listen to you.
can you move a little bit? So when he finishes, come back and speak to me.
Leave,
Right.
go outside, and then heckle the pastor. And as you can see, here is Mansur. And in fact, Mansur was so belligerent that Mansur claimed that the pastor should give him his whole mic. So Mansur came over here, he's yelling at the pastor's turning away from him.
So
and Mansur
you were listening
heckling.
quite carefully.
So Mansur,
Those of you who are listening,
a tiny hypocrite.
quite.
If you claim you don't heckle, you engage in the break levy. Right here.
Sorry, we
Okay.
It's on video.
Okay. Okay.
So you've been
Excellent question. Let me
exposed,
give some room.
and you run
Sorry.
away.
I said clearly here,
Hey.
when we have conflicts between historicity of an event, between religious traditions, how do we resolve? How do we resolve? Say something about Abraham. The Bible talks about Abraham. The Quran talks about Abraham.
The easiest way to prove the Bible is to dig in the ground.
They're embarrassed.
You dig, you will find.
Okay? Have we found any evidence from Moses? So far, we've been digging.
Yes. When he parted the Red Sea, yes, he parted the Red Sea, there is horse remains, chariot remains, soldier remains, as well as all of their armor that is still under.
Have we found any evidence from Moses from the secular history since we've been digging for a long time?
Yeah.
No, we haven't. Can you show me one single historical reference from academia in which now we have found Moses, the prophet? Open challenge. Open challenge to all of you.
Oh, really?
Go ahead.
Can you show us what Adam do to
But I'm speaking to you.
Open challenge to you.
Go ahead.
Show us
Ignore the
where-
heckler. I'm speaking to you, madam.
Mike.
And to you as well.
No, that's fine, Mansur. I'm right here because I would love to.
I don't want to speak to hecklers.
Mansur, give
I'm
me
responding to your
evidence for the
question.
original Quran.
So these are all
Give
hecklers
me
that come
evidence for
through.
Sahih Bukhari manuscript predate in the 6th
I'm
century.
open to hearing now the historical evidence from Moses from
Where's
digging.
historical evidence of Muhammad in the 6th century, Mansur?
Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Ignore the hecklers.
It's kind of hard.
Mansur, where is
It's kind of hard, isn't it?
historical
That's why
evidence
you can tell them,
of
stop
Muhammad
heckling.
from the 6th century?
Go ahead, tell him, stop heckling.
There's no need. This is the part.
Woman in Islam.
If it's kind of hard, you can tell him. Be brave and tell
Why are
him,
you
stop
talking to
heckling.
women? According to Muhammad, they're deficient in mind. If Muhammad said this, I'll show you. This is what you're doing about Islam.
I'm not trying to
I don't care about your money, my brother.
Come on, show us.
Right.
Adam built the Kaaba.
I'm waiting to find a historical reference.
Muhammad said women are deficient in mind. Let him go to somebody who has knowledge in Christian. Let him go to a scholar. In Muhammad said women are deficient in mind. All these rights from talking.
They think you have no idea.
perfect.
You've got a break. So,
No,
go ahead.
according to Muhammad.
If you want to talk
According to
to
Muhammad.
me, I would love.
According to Muhammad.
No respect for you.
According to Muhammad. According to Muhammad.
No respect for you
According
from
to
this guy.
Muhammad.
Or this guy.
Embarrassing.
I will get you the hadith.
Embarrassing.
Stop!
You guys are
Stop
embarrassing.
talking!
Mansur,
Respect
Mansur, what you
her!
should
Embarrassing.
do is not to respect her.
Show some respect
How
to
about
her.
you stop telling her lies? How about that?
Show some respect to
yes,
this lady
indeed.
here.
Show her respect by Mansur.
What happened to the
Bring
guy that
out a
you talked
source
to?
when you make a claim. Bring out a source.
Show some respect to the lady.
Yes, Mansur.
Listen to this
Stop
guy.
heckling.
Yeah, by
This
bringing
is a
out a source.
hypocrite. He's not
Bring out a
following
source.
Muhammad's example.
Should we go to one side?
It's Sahih Bukhari.
Yeah, let's go to one side. Can you bring it to one side? Yeah, come on.
The Prophet said, he's running. A woman equal to half of that of a man.
Come to one side. Stop the hecklers.
Woman's mind.
They are not respecting you, so come and have a conversation here.
Women are deficient in mind. Go to somebody who is knowledgeable.
I was just going to ask you for repeating what you said earlier because she couldn't hear you.
That's what we want to have a conversation. Yeah. But obviously, these Christian hecklers are not really respecting her. That's what I'm saying. Just move away from these hecklers. Come here.
Where's the guy you were speaking to earlier? The guy with the Nike bag? Because I wanted
The guy who was not even interested to have a conversation.
You're a hypocrite. Listen to this. This is a hypocrite. Sahih Bukhari 2658. The Prophet said.
Just bring her over here from the hecklers. Away from the hecklers.
The woman said yes. He said this is because of the deficiency of a woman's mind.
Carry on, I'm listening.
The Bible says he is a hypocrite.
Just focus on her reaction to this
You're a
Hecklers.
hypocrite, Mansur. You're a hypocrite.
Okay?
Muhammad said
Right.
women are deficient in mind.
So we'll just go over there and then we'll have a conversation. Okay? Come on. Good. Away from the Hecklers. Now,
unless you want to engage me directly, you can run away.
So,
yes,
I asked
Mansur,
you
yes,
about-
and I'm telling you directly that what you're talking about, Mansur, and I'm telling you directly that what it is you're
do
talking
you want to have a
about.
conversation or you want
Not
to end?
actually, in any way.
I will respect what you will say. If you want to end the conversation,
Has no
we
historical
end.
basis. So if all you want to do is seemingly have conversations with
Such
people,
hypocrites.
If you don't want to have a conversation, it's fine.
okay, well,
Which one is it?
if you want to play this game,
Do you want to have a conversation or not?
You got it my way. I wasn't here for that. No. I will make you.
Like listen to you whilst all of this.
So you can tell them. You can tell them. You have all the right to tell them to stop
Every time
heckling.
you do that, I will make your belly jiggle, you pregnant boy. Now,
I thought the Muslims weren't allowed to women.
You were wrong to think that way. Excuse me. You were wrong to think that way. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Excuse me, you got violent. You got violent. You got violent. Please stop pestering women.
It's okay. Go. Because this is not right for you. This place is not right for you by this all this aggressiveness.
You're showing yourself. You're showing yourself. It's on camera.
Yeah, look at me. We saw you. Show me.
Let the police handle it. Let the police handle it. Madam, can you stop these hecklers from disrespecting this woman? They are making her so uncomfortable. These Christian hecklers are making her so uncomfortable. Let's just wrap this up. Excuse me. Alhamdulillah. Just some good news to share. Today in Speaker's Corner, one Hindu individual has accepted Islam. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Yesterday, we had a live stream in DawahWise Bangla. We were there for 12 hours. And we had one shahada from a Christian who is a Bengali. Alhamdulillah. This shows how Islam is reaching to the people through their intellect, through their understanding. Because when people use their intellect and their understanding, they appreciate the truth and they accept the truth when they're sincere. So may Allah make us of those who are sincere constantly. We were having a discussion here, as you've realized, over and over again. This is a repetitive thing that we see in Speaker's Corner. Christian hecklers try to constantly, regularly, consistently interrupt our discussion because they feel that someone, a Christian that we're having a conversation with, will become a Muslim. That is the fear that they have. They get nightmares. They wake up on Sunday, nightmare, some of our Christian brother or sister is going to become a Muslim today. They have their all aims and objectives to come here to interrupt every single of our discussion. Not how the discussion should proceed, but rather just belittle the conversation that you have, the individual that you have discussion with, as if they don't know anything. They came to say, this guy is a kid. Why are you speaking to a kid? And he was 24 years old. So the individual debunked him right there, and still they don't have shame and say, I'm sorry, I called you a kid. Yeah? So the audacity of how belittling other people who are using their minds, their intellect, is mind-boggling. We thought people had the freedom to think, but here, not in Christianity, you do not have the freedom to think. You will be told, like we've witnessed, even a woman, a sister in humanity, in a wheelchair, that came to ask me a question, and I was trying to engage with her. These vulturous hecklers came, talked over her, disrespecting her aggressively. look at the reaction that she had in her faces. She was threatened, uncomfortable with this aggressive behavior from her Christian people who are hecklers. But make no mistake, this doesn't represent Christianity. There are good people in Christianity, and there are bad people in Christianity. Do not judge Christianity by the example of some bad Christians here in the park. This is very important. Do not generalize. Every human being is different. You can have bad Muslims like you have good Muslims. But what we are inviting people you to, have yourself in the best of manner and conduct, and have a conversation.